We're at the New York Auto Show and Hyundai has unveiled the brand new Kona. It's a 2024 model, comes with 3 powertrain options, a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 147 horsepower and a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 195 horsepower. And then of course, there's the new EV.
All right, so this is bigger than the previous Kona. The Seltos, the cousin of this, was always bigger, and it looks to me they've stretched this out to be relatively the same size.
They certainly have. It's 5.7 inches longer than the previous model, almost an inch wider, and the wheelbase is 2.3 inches longer as well. One of the biggest complaints about the Kona that Hyundai said is that people complain about the back seat. So they have made an effort to make that bigger now. We'll get into the back seat in just a bit, but let's talk about the exterior. This really has a modern feel to it. It's got a great thin light bar across the front with the Hyundai logo.
You can't tell, except for the charging port in the front of the electric, really the difference. You'd have to have a pretty keen eye. And down there on each corner, that's where the headlamps are.
We typically see EVs looking a little bit more futuristic, so I think it's really great that Hyundai has created a vehicle that looks very modern and somewhat futuristic, but you can get it in a gas powertrain.
All right, so down the side they have the creases that we saw in the Elantra showcased here. Not as prominent, but still a design feature that Hyundai is going with.
You know what, I don't really love the creases that much. You know, when it comes to the Elantra, I'm not a huge fan of that. I wish that it was cleaner and simpler, but this is what we're getting. One thing I want to point out in the rear, which is pretty great for this class of vehicle, is that it now comes with an available power tailgate. Don't you just love this light bar in the back? It kind of has a bit of an ID4 vibe from Volkswagen, and I like the simplicity with the logo and the Kona script.
One of the interesting things is to do the light bar and the script on the back really doesn't cost them anymore, but it sure makes it look upscale. All right.
And I also like this trim here with the gray. It's just a nice color contrast.
All right, let's open that up. And a very useful cargo space.
This offers 25.5 cubic feet of space behind the second row and overall cargo space of 63.7 cubic feet.
Well, you look at that, a real spare tire.
We always love a spare tire, don't we? Oh yeah, what a big difference in here. I remember sitting in this when we recently, I don't know if it was recent, we did the Kona N, and just not enough space. So I think families, if this is maybe a second vehicle, you're gonna find this to be quite a lot roomier than what you saw in the previous model.
Well, the thing is, the Seltos we always recommended over the Kona because it was so much bigger, but now it's a tie.
It really is a tie, and you've got storage pockets on the back of the passenger side, nothing on the driver's side, and there's no air vents here, but you've got them underneath the seats. This also has a really nice pitch to it. Feels quite comfortable in here. You know, the seats are very plush, and I think that the headroom is not too bad. And these seats actually recline a little bit, so it really has a great pitch to it, especially on a road trip. Now, Hyundai has really changed this interior design. It now has available 12.3-inch screens, 12.3-inch touchscreen, and a digital driver display. The storage at the center console is not huge, but remember, it's just a subcompact crossover. This model has a moonroof, and Hyundai made the seat backs 30% slimmer to provide more legroom in the rear seat.
I spy with my little eye. Look at all of those beautiful buttons. That's one thing that they did. They've added these big glorious screens, but underneath are all the controls for the HVAC system, the infotainment, connectivity, your outlets for your phones. I mean, that's the stuff that everybody wants to access quickly.
And also behind the steering wheel, you have your paddle shifters, and you've got a different kind of shifter here. Before, the Kona had a traditional shifter, and now it's more of a column shifter on the steering wheel.
Yeah, similar to what we saw with the Ioniq 5.
That's right.
Same kind of shifter.
Here's the electric model. I like it in yellow, nice and bright. It'll have a great on-road presence. This is a 64.8 kilowatt hour battery, 201 horsepower, 418 kilometers, 260 miles of range. These aren't official numbers, but these are preliminary results. There's also going to be a smaller battery option, which will have 197 miles of range or 318 kilometers.
It sounds like the range we get in the current Kona, which is pretty good considering that the vehicle is bigger.
Absolutely. I think that this looks great. You know, the exterior and the interior are similar to the gas models. Overall, I think that Hyundai has done a nice job with this new Kona model. That's a first look of the 2024 Kona. The gas models will hit dealerships in the summer, and this EV sometime in the fall.